Hello everyone, and welcome to another Let's Play of Not Tonight. My name is Anna Mardall. We are just about to finish out Chapter 3. So we're going to go to bed. Albion first. New Year's Eve party moved. Great and good to gather to celebrate Britain alone. TV star Harrison Pace sets up dog shelter. Schoolgirl sets up School of Rock. I guess that's Shannon. NHS privatization complete. Food poisoning and why you should be scared. 2 months later, winter. European citizens relocation block. December 29th. "12 months in limbo. What now?" So it is December 29. We are healthy. There's probably nothing new on Shopper yet. We don't have, our bills are all paid. Okay. And I'm guessing our credit score is back to normal. Good. Notice, New Year's Eve, Monday, Albion First New Year Ball. JUP security only via bouncer. Oh, joy. And looks like tomorrow the Resistance will be visiting us through the bathroom. Agent Titmouse, it is time! The New Year's Ball! The Scorpion has warned us. This is the big one. The identikit you have. It will allow you to identify the bomber. Bomb what? The bomber responsible for the King's Head is planning another false flag operation. What? Albion First intends to blow up their own ball and blame it on Euros. The Scorpion has been supplying you with clues. The identikit is the key. Use it to identify the bomber and give them this VIP token. It's a tracker. Give it to the bomber. You want me to work a job where a bomb is to go off? If we identify the bomber, we can minimize casualties. Right now, it's the best we can do. Okay, thanks. So this is a VIP access card. The bomber is going to be wearing distinctive black pants with red shoes, a brown jacket, and he appears to have some form of handlebar mustache. So, okay. I suppose we can keep on the lookout for him. I appreciate the shoes being distinctive, that helps. Ah, 112. What a sight for sore eyes. New Year's Eve. What a wonderful year. Albion First winning the election, the rise of JUP security, and you Euros finally put in your place. You're nearly done. One more job and you can sling your bloody hook. Don't be late. Okay. And don't wear any of those fancy clothes. Wear the standard issue Euro rags. Don't embarrass me. Okay. Why do I have to wear my standard issue Euro rags? Is it just so it'll look right for the flashback? Is that really why? Fine. Off to the ball. Britain alone, 1 year. Ah, the Euro bouncer graces us with their presence. No rush. The New Year's Eve ball is only the most important event of the year. Well, get your things. Choppity chop. No worky, no money. Understood. Ahem. Understood, sir. I know they're gonna rearrange it, but I'd like it a certain way. Gosh dang it. Ticket holders only, no ticket, no entry. And there's the bomber right off the bat, actually. Second in line. Ticket, please. Alright, you're good to go. Ticket, please. I mean, that's him. That's him. So, I gave him the VIP ticket, but he didn't say anything. That's kind of worrisome. He didn't react. How am I supposed to get 20? Am I gonna have to reload? Okay. There's our bomb. So we still let the bomb go off. Not sure how I feel about that. Explosion at Albion First Ball. Who is responsible for bombing? Minor casualties due to senior figure's late arrival. Bomber bouncer trial begins tomorrow. That's ominous. Final strike by Euro terrorist? Was resistance responsible? One day later, New Year's Day, Royal Courts of Justice, London. Did Jupp frame us? This Euro stands accused of being an accessory to the Albion First bombing. With no firm evidence, and hearing the defendant's plea of conspiracy, we must consider their character. Really? What? Please call the witnesses to the stand. 1112 was most generous. Despite needing money, they made sure I got my Viklav's charity funds. Hey, 112 was cool. Never stopped me partying, even though I wasn't meant to be there. Wait, forget that. My best neighbor friend recovered my disco dancing medal. My savior, 112, freed me from the clutches of a blackmailer. This is ridiculous. 112 found my ring for me. He's a top bloke. Agent Titmouse is the pride of the resistance. Nothing too small, nothing too big. I, Harrison Pace, I know how to act. The kindness of 112 is no act. My lawyer says that 112 is responsible for my 3 car crashes due to selling me drugs that I now regret. I never sold you drugs. 112 worked hard. They contributed well above expectations and paid all relevant taxes. Financial records showed that at least most of their money was earned honestly. They ignored the temptation of buying a completely illegal rhino head. They ignored the temptation of buying an illegal teddy bear. They refused all but essential London wall jobs, and consistently dressed as military police. Did they think themselves above the law? They kept their social credit high throughout January. Do not ask how their social credit developed over July. They kept his social credit high throughout October. Thank you. We have the evidence, and the phone lines for the people's vote are now closed. As a certified Euro, we will investigate your accusations of Albion First. Happy? Court dismissed. That's silly. I'm British. I'm as British as any of you bastards. In light of the Euro's character, the allegations against the government will be investigated. A moment. Officer Jupp, did you say? Of Jupp Security? Yes, sir. Proud to serve, sir. I see. Yet our Mr. Galahad claims to have visited your office. From an address on a pen, apparently. And what did he find there, Cheap Swedish furniture! In total violation of current import rules. No, please. I was desperate. It was so affordable. Bailiff, get this flat-pack-loving miscreant out of my sight. And strike his comments about the defendant from the record, obviously. Albion first deposed. Taverner facing allegations of conspiracy and vote tampering. Assistant Minister Jupp made Siberian ambassador. Harrison Pace gets new daytime talk show. Minister for Agriculture revealed as Scorpion. So proud of my daughter. Citizen relocation blocks to be closed. And so a dark chapter comes to an end. As the architects of Albion First rot in prison, European exiles return to their home, and the London Wall falls. All agree never to speak of this again. But what of the bouncer formerly known as 112? One final job awaits, the Not Tonight Victory Party, with a guest list of developer reprobates to congratulate you for your hard work. Let the developers in? We're almost positive you will not abuse this power. That was an abrupt ending. I really thought there was going to be another... I don't care. I made you. You gotta let me in. Damien, I did all the audio. It's a given, right? I'm Danda. I mean Alex, the Spanish translator. Can I come in? I'm the Chinese translator, Zizi Totoso. Richard, writer, you must have laughed at least once. Chuckled? Tim, creative director, bit late to apologize, but still, can I come in? Mike, publisher, I also apologize, but can I come in? Lucas, lead programmer, this literally cannot exist without me. Oh, okay. Well, that was... Thanks for playing. Game over, man. Game over. That was an ending. That was credits. That was an unexpected ending. I really did think there would be more to it than that. That was very abrupt. I mean, wow, okay. Well, I guess I have to talk for a couple seconds, because otherwise this is going to be literally the shortest video I've ever posted. This is the second game playing God Save the Queen / My Country 'Tis of Thee at the beginning, the other being Long Live the Queen. And now this. If I quit my YouTube career with this game, it will bookend beautifully with Long Live the Queen. But I won't. I think this game was a good attempt. I think it needed a lot more polish. We found several bugs in the dialogue. The difficulty was wildly inconsistent. There were some nights where we hit bonus 2 and then skyrocketed off into much higher numbers. There were other nights where just passing was nearly impossible because so few people met the requirements to get in. If that's intentional, then I think it creates an atmosphere of dread for the player, which fits with the topic. But it didn't really feel intentional because it just kind of seemed to waiver. The photo IDs were horrible to match, at least for me. And Papers, Please had much better as an ID system because the faces were more detailed. These people were just a flat skin color pixels with flat hair pixels, and then there was very much less to differentiate. Plus, they're in different lighting, and so the visual identification was terrible, and I didn't like that at all. The obvious comparison to Papers, Please is obvious. I keep talking about Papers, Please, but I think you almost have to when talking about this game because it was clearly inspired by that gameplay style. I loved Papers, Please, so I loved the idea of this game. I don't know that I love the implementation. I think changing it to a bouncer venue radically alters the stakes. Because, and I mentioned this in a previous video, but I'm just going to yammer on about it here. If somebody can't cross the border and they're a refugee, they die. They are not reunited with their family. Their life is completely turned upside down. If somebody can't get into a bar for the night, it's bad. It's discrimination. It's not good. But it's also not that same level of life impact. You did have days that did have impact where we switched over to letting in people with visas. But there was tonally almost the exact same. It was too similar to your bouncer work to me that it didn't have the same impact that it should have. I didn't like the fact that in Papers, Please, if somebody didn't have the right paperwork, I very rarely felt like it was their fault. It felt like the bureaucratic system had screwed them over. We changed the form without telling you, or we require this extra thing now without telling you, or some complex aspect of this labyrinth of paperwork we didn't inform you that you needed to do. So when you had to turn people away, you felt pity for them because the system was obviously so screwed up that it was just like you felt bad enforcing it, even when you were right and they had the wrong paperwork. Here, with fake IDs, it's a little bit harder to generate that level of sympathy for everybody. I mean, yeah, the people being turned away because they're Euro, that's sympathetic, because that's discrimination, it's horrible, and it's awful, and you don't like having to do it. But then you have people coming with, here's my ID with no hologram on it, here's my ID with a bad flag, here's my, I'm obviously underage, and it's a lot harder to feel sympathetic for those people, because it's like, why the frick are you coming to a bar, wasting my time, making me get paid less? It almost felt like they were taking advantage of me, further advantage. So, here I am, this poor Euro person being forced to work for starvation wages, and instead of feeling like you're in my booth in Papers, Please, I felt like I was an unwilling, complicit part of the system that was grinding people down into tiny pieces of shredded kitty litter. Here, it felt like the customers were part of something bigger that was grinding me down into tiny little pieces of kitty litter, which I think is valuable in terms of a criticism of capitalism. And if you're wanting to do something different than Papers, Please, which I don't think there's anything wrong with doing something different from Papers, Please, then there you go. That's a difference. Papers, Please is about you being complicit with the system in a painful way. Not Tonight is about everything about the system grinding you down. But it also meant that with Papers, Please, I had these moments of joy where, despite the horribleness of my job, I felt like I was well placed to help people out. So it was terrible and it was awful and it made me do terrible things. But I kept going into work, partly because I had to, but also for those rare, wonderful, fleeting glimpses of being able to let someone in to see their fiance or something. That was beautiful, and it made it all not necessarily worth it, but better for me to do that job than somebody who wouldn't have let that happen. Whereas here, it's like, it was genuinely hard to keep playing some nights because it since I was the one being ground down, it was like, why am I doing this? There were nights when it wasn't fun. Which, that's okay, gonna be another argument I have about the game. It's too dang long, and then suddenly it's abruptly over. That was paced very badly. The last week or so of October should never have happened. The whole Dave thing, going to France to be with my Lorna, because we never had any interest or any inkling that she had interest in him, and he was the one blackmailing the shopper lady. I did notice that when we went through those dev credits at the end, there was a lot of men involved in this game, and I didn't see very many women in that queue, and it suddenly, I'm not going to say it became clear why there was a stalker subplot that was not really resolved. And Guinevere and Galahad had a stalker plot too that then suddenly went away too, that she had blocked him on all forms of social media, and then he's her #1 agent. And it was like, you guys are trying to make this funny, and it's not actually funny to me, so that kind of, whatever. But it meant that there were no sympathetic characters in the game. There was nobody I was rooting for. There was nobody I cared about. My Lorna was basically the one person I cared about, and she gave up and went home October, I guess. And then Dave went to go follow her. And that part of the game was just a drag. It did not care. And it didn't help that was deliberately the hardest part of the game, where almost nobody was valid to get in, and it didn't help that it didn't make sense that he would be so strict. I mean, yeah, they kind of tried to hand wave it by saying that was the only way he could get permission to do the venue, but it didn't make sense. And, it's silly for, all these people to be queuing up to go to what was basically a field in the middle of nowhere, and none of them are valid to get in. Yeah, whatever. And then all of a sudden, boom, the game is over, and we have a comedy trial to try to discuss how well you treated the other characters and how well you kept your credit score. And to me, Papers, Please had way more impact, because no matter which ending you went with, whether you fled the country or tried to stay and make a living there or whatever, there was, or worked with the revolution to bring about a new world, there was a sense that you had made a choice, taken an action, steered your destiny in one direction or the other, and now something was going to happen to you. And the player didn't get to know. And that wasn't always easy. It was we like when I took my family and fled to another country, it was like, I don't get to know how that turns out. But I did manage to get everyone out, so that's something. Here, it's I don't know, it just... It was very abrupt, and it was very comedic, and it's not going to stick with me in a sense of being thought-provoking or anything like that. If it sticks with me at all, it'll stick with me as kind of, that was silly. So I think that was probably a mistake as well. I don't know how I would have ended it, but probably not that way. Honestly, I think I would have given the player a choice whether to try to stop the bombing entirely, which wouldn't have helped the resistance, but it would have been an action that would save lives, and stymie Albion First a little bit, whether to try to make the bombing even worse and take out all the Albion First muckety mucks, or whether to go this route of minimizing casualties, but planting a card on the bomber so you could find them again, which I was sure we gave it to the right person, but that never even seemed relevant to the ending, so that was just weird. I guess that was just supposed to be that the casualties were low because something. I don't know. That was strange. So anyway, that was not tonight. I had at one point thought I might play this again and try to min-max a little bit, but it's so poorly balanced. In addition to in my opinion, in addition to the difficulty swing all over the place, by the end of October, I felt like I had so much money I could buy everything in the store. Which, I guess that was, I resisted buying the rhino head and all. I guess they expected you to go through the store and start going, wee, I'll just buy everything. But why would I do that? Partly because I assumed there was more game coming and I was stockpiling against disaster, like another medical bill. I don't know. So that was not tonight. I was thinking about going back and doing a perfect playthrough, because obviously we were supposed to give Shannon those CDs. I still don't know what we were supposed to do with that guy at the fair. He said we sold him drugs. I never sold him drugs. I just let him go in whenever he asked. But apparently I was supposed to give him something. I was probably supposed to give the disguise to Galahad, because in the next chapter, every time he shows up, he's wearing the disguise, but I never remembered to give it. I never realized I should give it to him. So I had a thought about going back through and doing a perfect playthrough, but I actually don't know that I want to, because it never really seemed to have any impact on the characters. I guess they wanted to save it for the end, but I would have cared more about Shannon if she'd been developed as a character along the way, as opposed to an ending thing that I don't care about, in an ending that I thought was silly. Why would they call in all these people to ask about my character? That's silly. So I don't think this game probably has a lot of replay value for me. I might play it again someday and see if maybe I feel differently now that I know how to manage my money a little bit better, and now that I know which drugs to give out. But I'm not going to do that now. I'm not going to do a perfect run now. I had thought about doing a perfect run at the end of this and posting that, and I'm not going to do that. So instead, I'm going to say good night. I will see you again in the next Let's Play. I don't know what it'll be, but we'll find out together, I guess. I will see you then. Once again, my name is Anna Mardal, and if you made it to the end of all this, you have been on a marathon, because there have been like 28 of these videos. So thank you very much. I really appreciate you. Leave a comment if you'd like. I try to read all of them, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.